Hi there, this is Elise Benin, your marketing mentor. And this is the podcast for you if and only if you are ready to leave the feast or famine syndrome behind, and I mean for good. To wrap up 2024 and ring in 2025, I'm talking today to my good friend, my old friend, Alan Seiden. He is a self-proclaimed introverted IT geek whom I met at a usability meeting in New York when he was just a young'un, and who has since built an IT firm with 10 employees and gives talks all around the world. We've talked on this podcast in the past about how he made that transition from awkward techie to tech celebrity. But today we're talking about time and patience, respectively a source and a virtue that Alan has used very wisely to get this far. And how AI fits into it all, of course, too. He also recommended a really good book called Take Your Time, The Wisdom of Slowing Down by Eknath Easwaran. So listen and learn. Hello, Alan. Welcome back to the podcast.
Hello, Elise. Good to be here.
Yes. And go ahead and introduce yourself first for those who don't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Alan Seiden. I'm founder of Seiden Group, and we work with classic systems. I'm in IT, okay? IT geek.
Okay.
And we kind of work with people who run classic systems in the IBM i platform, but we kind of combine old and new. So it involves technology and people, skills, and helping people feel comfortable and constantly learning.
And are most of your clients corporate, would we say?
The clients are corporate, but it's very personal. Usually the IT departments are kind of small often, even though the companies are large. And so we work on a very personal basis with people.
Nice. And before we get into the topic, why don't you, because we've known each other a long, long time, and you know how to market yourself. So I would love to hear how you're marketing yourself these days.
Yeah, right. And Elise remembers me back when I was so shy. I didn't even give my business card out. Why would someone want to talk to me? What do I have to offer?
I do remember that,
And yeah, well, some of it's content. So I write a blog post every week on our topics because there's a lot of need to discover information and get information out. And so sometimes my article's the only one. Also, I speak at conferences. And I don't know what else to say. I've just kind of gotten known over the years. So when I travel around, people around the world, I learned so much from your articles and this and that. I go, okay.
We call that networking, strategic networking.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. I'm just doing my thing. Meeting the market where it is and what I can offer.
I love that. Listening to the market too, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here today, and I am thinking of this as my year-end episode for 2024. And you had responded to one of my messages recently and told me that you were on your way to give a little talk about patience. And I just wanted to know more, and you haven't told me any more. But I thought it would be a good topic for end of year. So first, tell us how you think about patience. What was your talk about? You don't have to give the whole talk, obviously, but what does patience have to do with an IT geek?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we're also told to drive ourselves toward greater efficiency all the time, doing everything faster. And that's the promise of AI. You can do whatever it is, do the wrong thing faster, I like to say. But going toward efficiency and profit. And in IT, I think people miss human interaction and feeling that others have the time for them. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I was doing a support call with a client. They had a question. I didn't exactly. I could. I thought we needed a phone call, and though I answered his initial question, and then I'm say, okay, you want to know anything else? And just wait. Oh, oh yeah. Well, while you're on the phone, and he asked something else. Okay. Then he asked another question. I sent him an article, and then another one. I said, well, oh yeah, this would be a good knowledge-based piece. So I write in about 1 minute, I write the article while he's watching. This is on Zoom. I let him watch my process writing the article for him, and I
Mm.
sent it to him. And he
Mm-hmm.
says, this is so refreshing. Usually anyone helping with support just wants to get me off the phone as soon as possible. And you were willing to be there and answer all my questions till I was satisfied. Yep, good. That's what we're here for. And it was, I think, very moving to him that I wasn't trying to rush him off the phone. So that's one aspect of patience. Of course, in this case, I'm actually interested in the topic too. I want to improve my own knowledge. So patience also means that we can be present even when it's not a passion of ours that we're working with.
So what I hear there is what I've been calling lately, caring as a marketing tool.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like patience is an element of caring. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's part of that's being willing to just give the person the other person time, and you don't have to control everything. At least here, you said, well, I don't know what Alan's going to talk about, but I trust we're going to have a good time in this call and do something of value for everybody. And I do the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think too.
I love also the way you said when you answered his first question and then you said, what else? And then you just wait.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if um, the old Alan, who was shy and didn't want to give anyone his business card, would have been terrified of the silence while waiting.
Mm. Yeah, possibly. Uh, I'm not worried about having to know everything either. That I might be asked something that I don't know
Why
because
not, Alan? What's wrong with you?
I well, partly, Elise, I have a large network now of people. I could find the answer
Mm-hmm.
from somebody if I
Mm-hmm.
don't have it. That's a good question. Let me find out because I don't think no one knows everything,
Not even AI?
especially not AI. Well, maybe in some fields. In mine, no, 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 not even AI. So yeah, I'm comfortable just taking a chance, and e- even I create meetings. I create meetings and invite people to it, just thinking that together we'll learn something together. That I don't have to have all the answers, and really to make myself have all the answers really is too much of a burden to answer everybody. Once you get so big and important as I am, Elise, then you can't answer everybody's question individually. I'm sorry, we cannot answer individual questions. No, we do, but we try to have a group and then take a chance and see where it goes and then kind of facilitate it. And you kind of wait, no one says anything. I give them time. Any newcomers have a question who doesn't consider themselves an expert and like, wait, one, two, three, four, five,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because I'm the type of person, I don't know if other people are speaking. I usually wait for a pause because I don't interrupt. So I figure there may be other people, especially introverts in IT, who may
Yeah.
need time before they may speak up.
All right. I just made that connection between introverts and IT. Not that it really means anything, but I is the first letter of introvert and T is the last letter of introvert. I kind of like that.
Good. I like those offbeat patterns too.
But tell us a little bit more about when you say you create meetings. Like, what's the context there? How could other people create meetings that people would feel comfortable to come and ask their questions? Is that content? Like, does content come out of that?
Content definitely comes out of it. Well, for instance, there's a software editing and programming tool that's become popular we're kind of associated with the creator of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
decided to have a meeting twice a month meeting on it. It's called, the product is called Code for I. I call it Code for I Fridays. And we meet every other Friday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. I figure, the week is almost over. We're all tired of work. We can do something else. And there are a lot of questions, and we just invite people to sign up for free and can come ask their questions. If they have a problem, they can show their screen on Zoom and troubleshoot it. Sometimes we have a guest expert that we invite to talk about something. Otherwise, we wing it. I have sort of a format. Okay, any burning Elise, that's one of I steal a lot of Elise's phrases.
Good.
Do you have
That's what they're for.
any burning questions? That's one of Elise's phrases. Any burning
Mm-hmm.
questions? So we ask that first, and people get a chance to do that. Any discoveries? Anything you'd like to share? And they'll do that. I have no as anything that I find something to cover, and I take notes, and we learn a lot, and our everyone's knowledge improves. And actually, eventually, we're going to do support, actually sell support for this. But that came out of all those meetings. It built my confidence. It built my confidence that we could support it. We're known for it. But that's really a free meeting, and we have maybe 40 people coming, and their list is in the hundreds now. And
Wow. And
that's one of Alan's crazy ideas. Like, what am I doing this for? And then it turns out, yeah, it was a good idea. People really, they're spontaneously posting on LinkedIn, Alan, thank you for starting these meetings. How meaningful it is to them, what they're learning from it. Yep.
And these are open to the public or just for clients, or
This one is
who
open to the
invites?
public. They have to register. So we don't
Okay.
put the link to have spam come in.
Right. No
People
bots.
no bots. The people have to register, and then they could come. But I do another one that's only for clients.
Mm-hmm.
And Elise, I mean, we know that the importance of structure. Another Elise quote: "The structure is what makes the program work."
Mm-hmm.
And so we do support for programmers or developers, we call them. But so we'll answer questions. But what if the programmer has no questions over some period of time, or they're too busy? So we started a monthly meeting for them. This is for clients where they can meet each other, and someone will bring up topics, and they can learn, have new, like we can only ask questions about a topic that we know something about already. But maybe there's a topic we are not familiar with or didn't even know what question to ask. As they say, that's Passover, right? It's the one who didn't even know what to ask.
That's
So
right.
there's always the one who doesn't know what to ask. And so the group meeting makes that happen. And again, I don't have to be an expert. I learn from the attendees. It's very surprising who speaks up. People who are quiet will speak up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
And do you use AI in these meetings at all to summarize or send out, to people who missed it, maybe the highlights? Are you using AI in any of those ways?
Yeah, I think we're using AI to help us make a transcript, or to I think we do it to actually know what timestamp. Yeah, sort of a transcript, at least knowing at what point in the timestamp a given topic was brought up. So like last time, maybe 12 topics came up. Like Joe talked about his change management. Like that's a kind of topic.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll tell people where to look, and then we send the recording out from Zoom afterward.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
And let's just talk a little bit more about AI, because I'm curious. You said, what did you say? AI is doing all the wrong things, or what is that you're saying?
I was exaggerating to be funny, but I think, well, when I do an AI search or ChatGPT search on a topic that I know a lot about, I realize how wrong the answer is. But if I don't know much about it, it can get me started. And then, I mean, in truth, then I can ask the AI, well, something seems wrong about your answer. Are you sure? And then it will clarify and get closer. So one just has to just
Push back.
push back, be assertive and push back and be alert to it. But I don't consider myself a real AI expert. I think it has a lot of potential for us with our clients in modifying computer code, because computer code follows certain rules that's easy for AI to kind of learn. So I think there's a lot of potential there.
But for all of my listeners who are web designers or web developers or programmers or coders of any kind, I think a lot of them are a little bit worried. And I'm curious what you think. Are you afraid of being replaced? I mean, I know your business has, as you've said, a lot to do with the people part.
Hmm.
So, how do you see AI coming in, or how is it? I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, it's already here, or, it's not
Hmm.
like it's in the future. So, I don't know, just
I
talk a
don't
little
know.
bit.
Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I think it's all changing. One of my a person who works for me has been involved with AI even in the 1980s, but he says it's still in its infancy now. That it's really AI is rather still pretty crude. It's like faking its way. It's like AI is faking it all the time, but that it will. But like
Faking it
five
till it makes it.
It fakes it till it makes it. Yes, pretending to know something. But within 5 years, he said it's like the early business of personal computers in the
Mhm.
'80s. Everyone was talking about it, but it took some time. But it did develop over time.
Interesting.
Yeah, but we should learn it. We should learn how to use it. Definitely learn it. Get
Mhm.
get good at it and learn it now, and keep up.
Mhm. All right, one more question, just circling back to patience.
Right.
Because when I think about patience, I think about rushing. Like it's
Hmm.
the opposite of rushing. And I did make, I think it was a New Year's resolution or a birthday resolution a couple of years ago, saying I will
Hmm.
never ever rush again.
Right. Right.
And I've done pretty well, actually, I have to say. And I'm just curious how you think about rushing.
Absolutely. That's the perfect question, Elise. Yeah, I really try not to rush also. There's a book, by the way, called Take Your Time, Iknath Aswaran. I try to take a look at it every day just to remind
Hmm.
myself
Mm-hmm.
about the taking the time for other people and for myself. And I mean, if you're like me, you use your calendar and your schedule. It's the only tool we have in a way is the structure of our weeks. So I try to not not schedule too many meetings on Mondays and Fridays. Mondays emergencies happen and I don't want to be scrambling around. I want to be able to deal with them and also to have time to plan my week. And then Friday is time to finish up the week and have any other kinds of calls. So it's partly using the schedule and not having just random meetings scattered around where we're just running from one thing to the next.
Mm-hmm.
And then second, if I feel impatient, things aren't moving fast enough, having some mindfulness techniques that I can use where
Mm-hmm.
I can tell myself, this is impatience. This is what impatience is like.
Mm.
And just take it on that level and then be a bit more in the moment, even appreciating all the details while seemingly nothing's happening or someone's talking too long. There's always something interesting, whether it's the tone of their voice, the temperature of the room, or other sensations that are going on that make the moment interesting.
It's funny, this idea of someone's talking too long, because as a moderator of many discussions and
Hmm.
facilitator of meetings,
Hmm.
it is an interesting phenomenon. And sometimes you can't tell if it's my own impatience or am I channeling the impatience of the others, but you also want
Hmm.
to give someone the space and the time to say what they need to say. And some people do go on longer than others, and some people don't go on at all. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. Do you find that too?
Absolutely, especially when I'm moderating. I know, first of all, I know they're going to go on too long. No
Hmm.
matter what I tell them in advance, they're going to, because they want to be conscientious. They're trying to be conscientious and complete, and they're going to go on too long. Do we hang up there?
You're talking to me?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I heard a beep. I don't know what it was.
No,
You can edit that
no
out.
beep.
Edit that out.
We
Uh,
may or may not. I like it to be real.
okay.
Maybe,
Um,
actually, you know
I
what?
was going
Maybe
on too
you
long.
thought
I was
you
being censored.
exactly. And so you,
At least his overtime beeper, the beep me. I'm being
that
no,
is
but
too funny.
no, but the thing is, if I need to interrupt someone and ask them to stop, I don't want to do it in an abrupt way where they feel jarred. So to not feel impatient, if I can deal with my own impatience and I can, with some warmth, uh, like I was sitting with someone at a conference and she was just telling me much too much information. I couldn't handle the overload. But
Mm.
eventually I just calmed down, put my hand on her shoulder, smiled at her. It's too much information. And I smiled at her and she smiled. She knew, but
Interesting.
did
Yeah.
it with some warmth and
Uh huh.
kindness.
Yeah, I think people do know. They just can't control it.
Right. Right.
It's so interesting. All right, actually, I know I said that was the last one, but I have one more thought to share. And this is another one of my sayings, which perhaps you've heard, but I'm curious how you think about. I often, and you know, I love alliteration, so I often advise people to practice patient persistence. What's your thought about that?
Yeah. Practice patient persistence. Yes, the time, our day will come. It happens. There was a client where I knew they needed a contract, support contract, and I was really irritated. They kept not appreciating. Don't you know how great this contract is? I was saying you need this thing, but I basically had to wait until I heard that they were having major problems or some
Right.
problems. And okay, now's the time. And I had to be tough. I got a friend actually to help me be tough. I wrote the email while my friend was watching me on a shared screen session. That's one of my tricks too. So I
Mm,
could help me do it. And I wrote to them, and I basically, now's the time. But I made it really clear they should do it. There was more than one reason actually to do it. And then they said,
mhm.
okay. So it was a matter of waiting until they are actually experiencing the problem
Yeah, they were
and
in
then,
enough pain.
yeah, or they were in enough pain and they could foresee more. Or I certainly could. And I wasn't going to help them unless they had this contract. I could see more
Mm,
problems. So it
mhm.
was a matter of waiting. The time comes, they come back to you. They probably will come back to you, but just be out there, be ready, and something like that.
Mhm. All right. I'm sorry. I just thought of one more question, which will
I'm
definitely,
patient, Elise, as much as you want. I have all the time for you in the world.
it's awesome. Thank you. But I'm just curious, do you have any, not predictions per se, but just thoughts about 2025 for yourself and your business? How many people in your business?
About 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Any goals or resolutions or thoughts or dreams or wishes, anything? How do you
Mm.
see the evolution into
Mm.
2025 for you?
Yeah. For me, I think I need to pick and choose what I do, what my activity is, how many tasks and projects I take on, because now there's just so many I can do. I want to do everything.
Right.
So, um, which is not the problem when you're starting out. You think, boy, somebody wants to talk to me. I'm so flattered. This is great. And
Hmm.
then after a while, like which ones will I do? Which conferences will I say no to? Which should I say yes? And everything sounds good.
Right.
Everything sounds good. But so that's partly that. Partly maybe I need more help in some certain other ways.
Hmm.
How do I take care of myself to keep my health up, get enough rest?
Mhm.
Anything smart. It's a matter about working in a smart and in an intelligent, organized manner. Maybe more automation. The things that are tedious, taking care of them in a more automated way. And I have someone I have helping with that.
Mhm.
So, but I love these meetings and maybe doing more. I mean, the ones I'm starting, those have been
Mhm.
really great, just very rewarding on a personal level.
Yeah.
And they also they teach me about what the market needs, also give me confidence. So it's like
Yeah.
starting by doing something and learning from it.
Yeah. Love that. Thank you so much for making time today and sharing your thoughts and your ideas and just staying in touch and always responding as you do to my content marketing just to keep our conversation going. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime, Elise. I appreciate you're still at it and getting better and better every year.
Thank you, Alan. I can see that you are too. I love the way Alan speaks so slowly and pauses to make space for others and isn't afraid of the silence. Not to mention experimenting with his crazy ideas, which often turn into good ones. Time is the hero of this story. We can never be reminded often enough of how precious it is. Alan also shared so many nuggets to start off your new year on a positive note, including that book that I have just downloaded on Audible and will be listening to over these quiet holidays. It's called Take Your Time, The Wisdom of Slowing Down by Eknath Aswaran. And of course, if you want my help finding actual clients using AI, check out my new one-on-one AI client finding coaching calls, or you can just sign up for my quick tips at marketing-mentor.com. Once you're on the site, you'll find lots more resources, including my brand new for 2025 Simplest Marketing Plan and program. So enjoy, and I'll see you next time.